If you want to become a successful stock investor, you have to understand that it doesn't depend so much on you picking the best stocks as much as avoiding the bad stocks. I have a whole process where I explain kind of like the 3 steps that you can follow to avoid losing stocks. Earlier this week, one of my students, he brought an investment that had been spoken about in the community, and he kind of was just asking what was the best action for him. So let's get right into it. Beliefs before bets. Why you don't put $1 into anything that you don't believe in, even when the charts look good. Is Palantir a good investment if I don't agree with what they do? My student basically told me that he was torn between the numbers look strong, national security, defense contracts, AI, but he's not sure that he believes in the mission. He believes in civil liberties, he doesn't like the mass surveillance, and he has a real concern with that. And basically, he's asking me if he should buy anyways, even though it doesn't morally go along with what he believes in. And my answer to him is, if you don't believe in it, don't buy it. It doesn't matter what the analysis says. It doesn't matter what the chart says. It doesn't matter what your boy in the group chat says. Conviction is the real asset. The stock is just the receipt. Things in the stock market follow a weird pattern in the short term, and in the long term are extremely predictable. And the way that you can get to the long term is by having a strong foundation on the short term. Okay, so why do 90% of retail investors lose money? They didn't lose because the stock dropped. They lost because they sold when it dropped. So why do people do that? Because of emotional decisions. They read a weird headline which scares them, and then they sell at the bottom. They have no real understanding. They never use the product. They don't know how the business works, which means that if somebody tells them that the business is a scam, if somebody tells them that the business is a failure, if somebody tells them anything, that's all they have to base their decisions off of when it comes to the investment. And borrowed conviction. They bought somebody else's thesis. When it shakes, they have nothing to hold on to. Basically what I was just saying. If the only reason you believe in something is because of somebody else's belief, when ideas conflict that belief, when other interpretations or perspectives get brought to you, if you don't have something that you believe in, you just believe in what he believes in, and you don't have him there to back the idea up, you're going to fall into whatever somebody else believes in next. All right, so what are the 3 checks? Use the product, call customer service, believe in the mission. This is like the most important out of everything. Fundamental and technical analysis are awesome as far as technical things that you can do. Reading a financial chart, reading the profit margins, reading their quarterly earnings, reading the graph, seeing where the resistance is, seeing where the result is. If there's a lot of liquidity coming into the market, all of those things are extremely helpful, but nothing will help you make a good, solid decision like using the product. Have you actually used what they sell? Do you reach for it without thinking? Apple, iPhone, Nike, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, right? Call customer service. How do they treat you when something goes wrong? That is the culture of the business. If you, for example, one of my boys, he bought a pair of Nike shorts, and the first day that he had them, or like the second time that he wore them, they ripped. He was like, man, I'm so pissed off. I literally bought these Nike shorts, and literally like 2 days later they fucking ripped on me. And I was like, just take them back to Nike and they'll give you a new pair. And he was like, for real? Because he's Colombian. He's like from here, Colombia. He's never experienced like how things are normally in the States. And I was like, yeah, just go take them back. If you have the receipt and you show that you just bought it and it ripped, they'll just give you another pair of shorts. So he goes, and that's exactly what happened. They looked at it, they looked at the receipt, they were like, here, go ahead and pick out another pair, and you're good to go. That is their culture. That is how they work. That is their customer service. And that sense of confidence, like with an iPhone, you know that you have like, I think it's like 10 months or 6 months, that when you have that warm and fuzzy of like, these people care about their customers, that's what helps a business hold off over time. And then that's what also helps you have more faith and confidence in them. Believe the mission. Do you actually agree with what they're building in the world? Does it coincide with your ethics and your morality? If something doesn't coincide with your ethics and your morality, and then you hear about somebody else basically explaining how this is going to lead to jail or scams or the boss is in some shit, you're not going to be like, nah, they're solid. Like, I know that their ethics and everything goes with what I am, so I know that they're good. No, you're going to probably just like flimsy out or sell or panic or get scared, which is the only reason that people lose money in stocks, is just becoming emotional and making really dumb decisions based off of what's happening in the short term. Okay. The trick question I like to ask my students is, if you like Nike, you wear Nike, you believe in Nike, and your analysis says that Adidas is going to rip and Nike is going to lag, what do? Option A, buy Adidas. Option B, buy Nike. Option C, do nothing. If you don't believe in Adidas and you purchase Adidas and then with time it starts going down, you are going to panic sell because you don't fuck with them. And if Nike is not performing well, why would you invest in them? The best thing that you can do in that situation is do nothing. Do not put your money somewhere that you're not confident it's going to give you a good bang for your buck. That's what I was talking about earlier. It's not about picking the good stocks. It's about avoiding the bad stocks. It's about avoiding the stocks, the medium stocks. Why? Because opportunity cost, right? Nobody really talks about this. And opportunity cost is probably one of the biggest things that causes like average people to stay poor. Every dollar locked in a mid investment is a dollar that can't be in a great one, right? A mid investment, a stock you don't believe in, capital tied up, no conviction when it dips, you sell at the worst time, and you miss the one that you actually believe in, which is the problem. Because once you use that $100, let's say you only have $100 to your name, and you see a mid investment, and then you go, you know what, fuck it, let's do it. I'll buy it. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, right? Boom, you put your $100 in, and then you find a fire stock that could possibly double. Now your $100 are tied up. You can't invest in a good one. And guess what? You tied it up in an investment that went down. So now if you sell, you're automatically going to take a loss. This is the situation that a lot of people put themselves in by investing without truly believing in something. Okay, so the right bet, the stock that you believe in, you hold through the dip. You buy more when it's cheap, so it goes down. The compounding actually compounds, and there's a bigger return and less stress. Right? If you believe in, for example, Apple, right? Like you think that Apple's going to be around and going to go up in the next few years, and it goes down half price, are you going to be like, oh my God, they're going to go bankrupt? Or are you going to be like, oh, awesome, Apple is super cheap right now. Let me take advantage. Let me get it at a good price and get even more, and then bring down my stock at like the average price that I have for this stock. That's the difference. So what about Palantir? Run the 3 checks and be honest with yourself, right? Have you used Palantir's product? Do you understand what Gotham and Foundry actually do? Have you stress tested it? How do they treat their customers, partners, and employees? You can look all of these things up. You can go on their websites. You can do Reddit searches to just see how is it that working for Palantir feels, because there's more than one employee. Do you believe what they're building in the world is good, or are you holding your nose for the upside? Right? So a good example of this would be like, I mean, Palantir's grimy. Like in reality, I mean, it just depends on where you stand morally, right? Like depends on what side of the Israel thing you are on. If you're like pro-Israel, you probably fuck with Palantir. If you're one of those guys that's like not so Israel friendly, Palantir's like, you know, they go really, really like all that shit that happened in Gaza, that's powered by Palantir. You know what I'm saying? So you have to ask yourself, like, is this something that completely goes against my morality and I just don't fuck with them? I don't fuck with what their plan is, their ideology, or any of that. But I'm going to invest in them because I might make some money. That's how you make a mistake. That's how you lose money. The rule that keeps you rich. If you can't hold it through a 40% drawdown, you shouldn't own it at the all-time high. Belief is what holds. Hype is what folds. If you feel like it going down a certain percentage will cause you to not want to invest in them, then don't invest in them. If, for example, like I was saying, the whole Apple thing, you know, if Apple drops 40%, you're not like, no, you're like, hell yeah, let's buy some more at a discount. It's a great price, great opportunity. Let's do it. Okay, so the takeaway from this video more than anything is don't invest in potential, invest in conviction. Use the product, call customer service, believe in what they're building, and you'll be able to hold on through the downside. you'll be able to push through when things don't specifically go your way. If a COVID happens, right? Again, COVID happens, the whole stock market falls 80%. Is this something that you know will hold through? Or is this something that you'd be like, fuck, maybe I should sell? If it's something that you know you'll hold through, good to go. Pull the trigger. Time in the market will always outperform timing the market. If it doesn't coincide with all of those things, if it doesn't align with you in that way, just avoid it altogether. Remember, guys, time, energy, and capital that is occupied on something cannot occupy something better. Once you're spending that money, once you invest that money, you can invest it in something better. Once you invest that time, you can't spend it with somebody better. Energy, all of that. And so be very selective and patient, because it's better. This is a really good one for you guys. Take this down, right? It's better for you to buy it's better for you to buy a great company, a solid company at a good price, rather than finding a good company at a great price. Patience, long-term thinking, that's how you outperform the market, and that's how you become a successful investor over time. Appreciate you guys watching till the end. And if you come across any other companies that you want me to work on, let me know in the comments below, and I'm more than happy to work on them with you guys.